today I thought we would paint another blank card that we can donate to Operation Gratitude. And I'm going to be working with some of my acrylic paints today. I haven't done acrylic painting in quite some time, so I figured I'd get back to it a little bit today. And I have cadmium yellow, cobalt teal, quinacridone magenta, and titanium white from Golden, and indigo from Liquitex. I'm gonna go ahead and put these away. I have also just a collection of brushes and a container of water and my towel. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm feeling like, let's start with this cadmium yellow. And first I just want to lay down some just sections of paint. So I've become interested in Operation Gratitude because I also like to knit, and they accept hats and scarves, and I thought, wow, what a great, way to use my talent. I enjoy knitting, but the funny thing is I don't enjoy collecting the final products. I'm one of those people that I love the process, but then once I'm done, I'm kind of like, okay, I want to give that away and start with something new. Got a little fur. I have 2 cats, so often I'm getting fur. Regardless of how clean I keep my home, there's fur. So I often joke that if I ever sold my art, I'd have to say something like, don't worry, I'm not going to charge extra for the fur. It's just a little added texture. Just adds that little extra special something, it's for me if there's cat fur. So I'm slowing down a little bit here, creating just sort of the margins of this color, creating the edges. They might not even be seen later, but they are right now. All right, I like that. I think I'd like to come in with some teal, but I want it to be lighter, so I'm going to blend some teal and some titanium white. It's really nice, almost like sky blue. Wanted something just bright and happy. We're going to put a little bit of that indigo, a little bit of dark areas for contrast for sure. But for the most part, I wanted the feel of this to be something joyful and fun. I like it. I want just a little bit more. We might come back to it later. I always have that option as well. I kind of want to work on those margins again. There are times when I love to do intuitive painting where you're just sort of moving very quickly, but as you can probably tell from my love for Zentangles, I also love artwork that sort of forces me almost. I know that sounds like a bit harsh, but it invites me. How's that? That sounds a whole lot more euphemistic. It invites me to slow down and be thoughtful, or just slow down and enjoy the process. Like, I'm really enjoying the process of thoughtfully and just slowly laying this paint down. All right. I kind of want to come in with some indigo, but I'm just going to take what I already have on my brush, this titanium white and blue, and mix that a little bit. Get like almost this navy blue. Maybe a little darker. Okay. I often like to put my head down right on my artwork as I'm painting. I have to remember not to do that when I'm taking video. Otherwise, all you're gonna see is the top of my head. Oh, I can hear my cat Gavin. He is being naughty, trying to get into a closet. Might have to talk to him in a moment. We'll see. Oh, he's coming over. I bet you he's gonna ask for me to pet him. I don't know how I'm feeling about this blue. I'm gonna put just some darker blue, just not even gonna clean my brush. Just straight up indigo. Might leave that flick. Kind of like that. The way there's a little bit of blending of a tad bit of white in there. Somehow that got in. Okay, I like it. All right, I have quite a bit on my brush, so I'm gonna just wipe it down a little bit and then rinse, and we'll see what we want next. These periods of rinsing, I don't really want these colors to blend too much. Just a little bit of blending is fine. So these periods of rinsing really give it a moment to dry a little bit. And as you can see, I'm not laying the paint on super thick. All right, I'm going to mix some titanium white and quinacridone magenta. Now the quinacridone magenta, a little goes a long way. And it makes a gorgeous pink. Or fuchsia. whatever word you want to use. But either way, it's quite lovely. Oh my goodness. I just had a thought. It's not a very Christina thought, but it's a thought nonetheless. And what the thought is is it's almost like that Barbie pink, now that we're all being sort of inundated with this movie. And legit, I played with Barbies when I was little, so I can't hate on them too much. No, I haven't seen the movie yet. I'm not really going to theaters at the moment. I just moved to Washington, D.C. I was working on my PhD in developmental psychology at the University of Virginia. Because I'm a Montessori educator, and one of the world's leading Montessori researchers is there at UVA. So I thought, well, if I'm gonna take time off from the classroom to go get my PhD, I might as well work with the best. And thankfully, she, accepted me into the program. So that's what I've been, working on these past few years. But graduate students, we don't make a ton of money. And so now that I have finished the program and I moved to Washington, D.C., and I start my job, I'm going back to teaching. I learned during graduate school that I just love working with my students, and I want to go back to the classroom. And so I found a lovely school here in DC, and we start work in just a few days, which I'm really excited to get started on this new school year. But what it means is I don't have a lot of money in the bank, right? Like, I'm a graduate student, haven't made much money these past 4 years, or I was a graduate student, and I was able to save enough that I could transition to my new location. But that gap between like when the school year ends and begins, I had to be creative about how to financially bridge that gap. So right now, I'm not going to the movies. Once I start getting paid again, it will be time to go to the movies. So we'll see. Okay, so I'm thinking I want to get back to this yellow a little bit, but I want to add, of course, some titanium white. So bringing back the yellow, but just a little bit of different value of that. Kind of want to leave that blue right there. I also might want to start getting a new brush soon. This is, we're staying with the same sort of thickness here. I'm getting some blending. I might want to either change up the width get another flat brush and change up the width. That might add some interest. Maybe if I add a little bit more titanium white, we'll have a little bit more, it'll be a little bit more opaque. Maybe here, maybe here, here. Oh, there's Gavin. Yes, Gavin? All right, we're almost done with our yellow. Might just add might want to bring back some of this teal here. Now would now be a good time perhaps to change brushes. Something a little bit more narrow. This guy right here, let's make sure he's completely rinsed. I see this one's quite a bit more narrow. But I think we'll add some interesting marks. Yeah, it's a bit lighter this time. Yep. Okay. Yes, Gavin? Oh, Gavin. This one's quite, it's nice and opaque, so it's, wherever I place it, it's happy to just sit on top of whatever I had there previously, which is kind of nice. Don't want something that's like lined up right to that. Yes, Gavin? That's what you're going to hear through half this video. Me saying, yes, Gavin? Yes, Gavin. What do you need, Gavin? Oh, what a whiny cat. Gotta love him. He's sort of running around. Yeah? Oh, you don't say. I'm not giving, I'm not giving any real deliberate thought as to like the length and shape of these blobs. It's more like for each one, just sort of feeling it out. Like there's little considerations, like when I went to place this, I was like, oh, I don't want it directly in the middle, maybe a little offset. So I do have like, I do think as I'm putting things down, but it's not, like I'm not sitting here thinking like, oh, exactly how long do I want to make that? Okay, you know what I'm feeling? I think I'm feeling satisfied with that, and I want to come in with some more quinacridone magenta. I'm interested to see, I don't think quinacridone magenta by itself is terribly opaque. Like it is once I add the titanium white. My heart really wants to go in with the quinacridone magenta, but I'm pretty sure if I don't add any white at all, it's not going to be very opaque. So I'm going to add some white, but I'm also going to add plenty of quinacridone magenta in there. So it's a little bit lighter than it is from out of the tube, but it's definitely darker than what we previously painted. Yeah, just so you can see the difference between the two. And it is like a little bit opaque, but you can also see the quinacridone magenta quite nicely, so I'm not complaining too much. Even over the indigo, which is nice. I'm not worried about like really crisp edges at this point, but I do enjoy edges. Obviously there's quite a bit of movement through here, not much going on over there, and I'm okay with that. But I do want to come in every once in a while and add just a little bit of interest. Okay, I need to stop over there. All right, what else? Any more? I almost feel like coming back with this like really light teal. And maybe let's do a really light teal. I wonder if I want to do any like plain old dark teal, maybe just a few bits before I add the white. Of just plain old teal, nothing else, straight out of the tube. No. I wonder if I don't know if I like that. Maybe just a few like that. Because it's only just a tiny bit darker, I think. It's very subtle. I think I'd much rather come in, no, I do kind of like adding something just a little darker, but not necessarily this. But here, when they're next to each other like that, you can hardly tell the difference, but when it's on top, you can see it's just a little bit darker. Straight out of the tube. We didn't add much titanium white there. But it is fun adding these little bits. Okay, I think I'm done with the plain old teal. Now I'm gonna go to what my original idea was. Putting a bunch of titanium white and just a dab of teal. Maybe a bunch of titanium white was a bit of an bit of a reach. I don't have much titanium white left on my palette. I should probably get some more. I love using titanium white. This is why I have a big old tube of it. I do want it to be noticeably blue, but definitely a light blue. Okay. Edges aren't as crisp as I would like over there. Ooh, I've got some paint on my arm. Let me move this towel. Here we go. There's so much contrast. You can definitely see that the edges break up, whereas I think before there wasn't as much contrast, so. A little bit of blending over there, but not too much. Might come over that one again later, maybe. No, I want that one a little bit more crisp on the edge. Just a wee bit. It's still a little wobbly. Okay, add more. I don't even know how much of this is actually on the page. There we go. That's satisfactory. I think I want one more here. I was also thinking maybe also before that, before the white, going back to some indigo here. I like taking colors that I already have and letting them layer and interact with colors I laid down after them. So maybe bringing some of this indigo back. Over the other colors. looks like the indigo kind of wants to emerge a little bit over here. Ooh, I like that, how it almost like washes over the yellow, and you can see the yellow kind of shining through. That's nice. Makes me want to paint a whole bunch more indigo over the yellow. That you can see where the lighter blue and the yellow are. I think that happened because I added just a wee bit of water to the indigo, so it did become a little bit more like a wash, a little bit more transparent, and I like that. Oh, I got my finger in the paint. Anything else? Yes, I think I want more indigo down here. Definitely want more indigo down here. Okay. The space there's not much there, which makes me want, even though I said K, this always happens. I think I might want to add a nice nice bit. Might be a little too wet, but I'll try it. Nice little wash of indigo. I like these little washes of indigo. They just are adding like an echo of color. I like that. A little echo of color. Alright, I'm going for the titanium white. I'm trying to decide as I paint, you know, just how much, what's the word? Well, I was wondering how much the white wants to really contrast, but apparently, and how big it wants to be. Apparently, as usual, it's sort of answering that question as I go. I don't really need to think about it. My brush just is making this decision. Now, I don't really want to see the color behind it, so I'm making the titanium white nice and thick. Like, does the white want to take over? In my paintings, the white always wants to take over. It's never the black that wants to take over. The black is like, dude, I'm happy to like live in the shadows. White is like, I'll take over everything. Titanium white is like, you know, oh, you thought you were going to use me for blending, but little did you know. You were just opening the door for a little tyrant. I'll be taking over. Thank you very much. Just gonna feather some of this on. I don't even know if that's on the card. I think that's just on the tape, which is kind of funny. You know, I think I'm feeling satisfied. No, this area feels like it needs something a little bit more. I don't know if it's white. I think, let's see if we can mix up. No, the yellow's already dried. The glory of the fact that acrylic dries quickly. Super, when I say super, I need to connect, don't go so far, the magenta. Just need to add a ton of white. I really want it to be a light pink. A light pink might be nice. Kind of like adding this pink in now. It does soften things a little bit, I think, and while I still love the white, it makes it a little less dominant, I think, which I like. Yep, got some light on my hand every time I go to blend. Okay, I think there's a few more spots I want to add. Now I'm thinking, do I want anything else to come back? I had that really light, I might want a tiny bit of, let's see, let's go back to my container. Oh, here it is. Tiny bit more of that cadmium yellow medium. And mix like a really light yellow. I might like layering just as I did with the light pink. So it's mostly the white, just a little bit of that cadmium yellow. Okay. I'm trying to tell myself to wrap up with this color and generally to wrap up. Okay, I'm gonna let this dry completely, and then actually I think I'm going to take my blow dryer, dry it up. new blank card. What I like about this is it's so abstract that really, you know, someone could use the card in either orientation and it would still be, you know, a fun, beautiful card to receive in the mail from a loved one. So wonderful. I'm so excited. That turned out pretty well, I think, in my humble opinion. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day, and I'll see you again later. Bye-bye.